Nick Cannon, who's a regular on the show, is also
great interviews too.
Yeah,
I like how he texts you. It's pretty slick.
That's my man. We're friends.
I love Nick.
And I remember he did a comedy stand-up where he said NBC stands for N-word, be careful. And then that caused a bunch of friction. And I remember he called me. He's like, yeah, I'm thinking of quitting. I said, well, you should at least have some talks with him. I'm not going to be the one to tell you to give up like $50 million or whatever the hell they're giving you. Or not 50, maybe it was like 10 million or something like that. But he ended up quitting anyways. And he's made more money since he quit.
Right.
Now
he's on the radio now.
Masked Singer. He's on the radio in L.A. on the morning show. Wild 'N Out is still going crazy.
It's bananas.
People have made that choice to say, fuck the system. I'm not gonna demean myself in order to keep a job, and so forth. I mean, Kaepernick is really right now probably the most well-known quarterback in the world.
Yeah.
Right now. I mean,
because he sacrificed his career.
Tom Brady is obviously a much better quarterback, but people will know Kaepernick more than they know Brady. You got to kind of follow football to a certain regard to know who Brady is. He's not bigger than life like a Jordan is.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
I
But
get it.
everyone knows Kaepernick.
Everybody knows Kaepernick, and this is, and people know Brady. One, he is the best quarterback that played in the NFL.
Yeah.
Period.
And
so we can argue that too. Period. And he married one of the most beautiful women in the world, and they have children. So that right there is, way to go. Glad. But as far as Kaepernick sacrificing his career, he sacrificed his career for everybody else. So everybody else can make a stand against what in Oakland was part of the reason and was the big fight and the kill of the Black Panthers they were against police brutality. To say it and keep doing it in the 60s and for Kaepernick to have to take a knee to make you pay attention that it's still going on, it's the same sacrifice. I applaud him for it. I literally didn't watch football when, because I'm, like I said, I'm a believer in the movement of my people. And if the culture says this is not what we're doing, we're not doing. But I think we should have been more organized like our ancestors were on the bus boycott, almost bankrupt the bus companies in Alabama by Black people not getting on the bus. Now, but he had to be that spark. And they keep talking about his girlfriend. Behind every great man is a woman holding him up. So I'm going to take my hat off to her. But that picture.
You mentioned Nessa. Marcellus Wiley touched up on that as well. And he has an issue with Nessa attacking Black men on Kaepernick's behalf when she herself is not Black. You made a point in that interview that Nessa is speaking for Colin Kaepernick, but she herself is not Black.
Right.
She's Egyptian, I believe.
Yeah.
Which some people could classify as Black, depending on the lens that you're looking at. But she is not an African-American Black person, as you are or Kaepernick is, and so forth. And you had an issue with that. So can you explain why?
Yeah, I had an issue with it. I mean, look, like you said, you can look deeper into the Egyptian culture and what they're dealing with. I would dare anyone to ask a Nubian or Sudanese about an Egyptian existence when they're being gunned down and people of color are being gunned down out there, having issues with the police. But I also, would question why do Egyptians say, hey, I'm going to Africa, when they're talking about going within the same continent. It's pretty interesting. You got to do your own research on Egypt to understand this, versus sub-Saharan Africa, which is the lead way and the breeding ground for Black America out here, or Middle Eastern culture, living in Saudi Arabia like she did, whatever. I'm not going to get bogged down in those details. I will say that what she's done has gotten real comfortable with the cause, which is fine because of her intimate experience with her boyfriend and Colin Kaepernick. But there's issue that I take that becomes an appropriation situation because she's calling other brothers out outside their names. Ray Lewis, that suggestion that he's a coon. Now, I don't know where y'all from, but if someone non-black is talking about someone black in that respect, that's a violation and that's a felony. That ain't misdemeanor. That's like, where are you coming from? Now, this appropriation situation has gotten out of control. It's not just Ray Lewis. It's Malcolm Jenkins and Big Boy from Outkast. Big Boy from Outkast is now under the fire of Nessa. What qualifies you for that? Travis Scott, like these are brothers who are doing their own works. No one raised their hands to say I'm the leader of a cause, so no one is sitting there with that responsibility, but trust me, they're doing their own things. Jay-Z, like we letting her get away with it. So, it's what Pac say? I got a lot of Pac for her. You might be deep in the game, but you got the rules missing. That's what this feels like. She deep in the game, I get it. Y'all cool, but we gave her a pass.
Now it gets a little fuzzy because she's like Egyptian and Arab and so forth, but she is not African American.
She's not African American, but she's African.
Yeah.
So she's not a black African, a dark black African, but she is of African descent. So let's explain that to all people that on the continent of Africa, Egypt exists.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
I have been there.
Right.
But in particular, he had a problem with her posting up a picture like that Django picture, which you were still in shock from.
I am still in shock from it because Django, I saw Mandingo. Okay, that's a crazy statement, and it's still stuck in my brain. And what should have happened is why I want this film network that I'm doing is because I want to get the rights to movies that they no longer play and play them and explain it. Ted Turner at the Omni Theater in Atlanta every day Gone with the Wind plays. Every day. Mm-hmm. And I was like, why is that? And it's for $1. He wanted to show the establishment of the South. So he played the movie that established what it was then. I thought it was, and it was that one 1935 movie, movie of the year or whatever, best movie. But he played it. I want that situation. I want images to be seen that they think we're not supposed to pay attention to or feel bad about, but it really explains the story.
Birth of a Nation.
Birth of a Nation.
The original Birth of a Nation.
Yeah.
One of the most racist, ugly films ever.
Which
was praised by the president at the time.
And played in the White House.
Played in the White House.
But imagine when Birth of the Nation, the second one, came about, how they did that was with the Me Too. They went after the actor.
Nate Parker.
Yeah, they went after
Who's also the director, I believe.
Yeah, they went after that. Well, this piece of work he was doing would have been great for this generation.